Hello and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for November 10th to the 17th, 2023. We're in this intense month and I'm encouraging us all to keep our grounding as much as possible. That's how we will serve best. And with that, I invite you to close your eyes and take 3 nice deep breaths with me. With every breath coming home to ourselves. Noticing how good it feels to have that breath come into our lungs. How wonderful it is to release what no longer serves us. And with that third breath, just imagining a tree root coming down out of the base of your spines, going down deep into Mother Earth and grounding us here and now in this present moment, holding us deeply into Mother Earth, anchoring us firmly in the present time. Knowing that this tree root is not only grounding us, but it is also a conduit through which anything that no longer serves us can easily pass down into Mother Earth at this time and become compost for our new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I am here with all of your children about to do a reading for November 10th to the 17th, 2023. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and our collective well-being. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening now and in the future to be present and facilitate this exchange, as well as an overlighting angel of communication to ensure that this exchange is happening in the highest and best way possible, and that we are keeping the energy lofty and addressing that which is uppermost in our personal and collective heart-mind at this time. That we cover all that is important in the window that we have together here today for our personal and collective highest and greatest good. At this time, I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us, creating a sacred container of clarity, of wisdom, of healing, of transformation, of peace, of upliftment, of goodness. I call upon Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming and holding this magnificent container of light and love around each and every one of us, including us all in this circle of well-being, of goodness, of love and light. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies and these intentions of clarity, of wisdom, of healing, of transformation, of peace, of love and light, of whatever it is that is uppermost in our personal and collective hearts and minds, is welcome to go now so that we keep this lofty, strong, healthy, and powerful. And with that, let's begin, shall we? I apologize for the shadows. I had technical difficulties today, and so I am recording this in the evening with artificial light, which I don't like quite as well, but there we have it. So, Creator, this week, this amazing time of November 2023, what is it that we need to know from this window of 10th to the 17th so that we can be congruent, aligned in our best selves, offering our best to life, to each other, to this beautiful planet we call home, to our communities, so that we can offer our highest and best service for everyone's benefit. Okay. I don't think I've quite got my video configured correctly because there's not enough room for the cards. And there we are. I'll have to get my techie on it. Okay, so here we are. The first card is the 8 of Wands, the card of signals. So this is the card of communication. It's in the position of the recent past. As you are all who've been listening to me for a while, you know the positions. But this is past as in that which we have learned, which is relevant in our present and into our future. Wands, creativity, inspiration, and passion. These warm colors remind us that this is the suit of fire. This is the generative potential that we all, each and every one of us, hold. It is life coming through us to be expressed in its own unique and beautiful, brilliant way. Wands, the Eight of Wands, as I said, it's signals. It's about communication. It's about us being able to look around us and see what is there and what do we resonate with it. What are we inspired by? What is our yes? This is very much tied to the yes. So this card, as I said, is sitting in the recent past. Its influence is relative to the present and to the future going forward. We know our good when we recognize it. We know it when we see it because we're tuning into our hearts, we're tuning into our generative potential, we're tuning into the life force within us and what it resonates with. So this card is just reminding us that we need to kind of get our heads up. We need to look around us. We need to be keeping our eyes out for that which is inspiring, enlivening, and calling us forward into more life. Because this is what this is all about. We're here to be here. We're here to stand in the energy of our desire, but our purified desire, the highest, loftiest aspect of that desire that is within us. That desire force is life calling us to more life, provided we keep it lofty, right? We want to be in that higher, broader, wiser, loving, kind, respectful space. So this energy is what we need to be keeping in mind as we go forward this week because it'll support us. We have another wand, the card of planning in our present. In this card, the shepherd has climbed to the top of the highest peak with his flock. He's looking out in all directions, deciding which way is best for the next while. So this card is reminding us that we need to keep a broader vision. We need to stay lofty. We need to remember that it's not just in the next 5 minutes, but where do we want to take our lives? And I'm not encouraging you to get out of being present, because that's very, very important. But we do need to have a bit of a trajectory so we know what we're pointing our boat towards for the next little while. And this is what this card is reminding us. And because it's a wand, it's part of that generative fire that I was talking about with this card. Part of that yes, we need to keep lining up with the yes. We need to keep moving in that direction of what is most positive for us. What will be life-giving, life-generating? How are we being called by life into more life within ourselves so that we can show up more fully and broadly and generously with each other and with life itself? But we need a plan. We need to kind of know what we're doing for the next little while. And even if you aren't completely clear about what that is, and that's perfectly okay. I mean, these are such strange times. Your intention can be to live into more life as beautifully and fully as possible in the next little while, and asking for help and support and knowing what that is. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. We have magnificent, broader, wiser selves. We have our forebears, the generations that came before us who are no longer in the form, but who care about those who came after, those who are the current incarnation of the family line. They are there and concerned for our well-being and wanting to support us if we ask for their help. We have whatever I like to think of angels as being there to support us, but we have other beings who are part of our team on the other side, but they won't help unless we ask, because that's part of the agreement. We in embodied form have sovereignty, we have choice, we have decision-making capacity, and we can get help or we can not get help. We can struggle or we can have more ease and flow. It's up to us as individuals. So remembering to ask for help, to ask for the clarity, to ask for the inspiration, to ask for those hints and suggestions to come our way in right perfect timing so that we can get a sense of where we want to go. And we all have a sense of where we want to be, even if it isn't a place or a direction in terms of materiality. We know how we want to feel. And I would encourage each and every one of us to focus on that. How do we want to feel? We want to be peaceful. We want to be joyful. We want to be inspired. We want to feel good in our skin. We want to feel healthy and happy. We want to be connected with others who bring us to more life and joy and fulfillment and satisfaction. We want our community We want our families. We want those that we love to be near us and thriving as well. We know all of these things. And we know that we want everyone on the planet to have this. We want everyone to be at ease in their skin, inside themselves, with others, in their homes, in their communities. We want everyone to be safe, happy, healthy, thriving, and able to bring their best light and love and kindness and expression forward into the world. Hold it not only for yourself, but for others as well. We are co-creating this life together. And for those who are in a position where they are not able to focus on these things, it is our job, it is our work to hold it for them, so that collectively we move forward into more magnificence, peace, well-being, and joy for all. This isn't just about our well-being. Our well-being, though, is the framework, is the context, is the clearing through which we can draw more through, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. You've got to keep remembering that. We're all cooperative components, and our well-being is really, really important. So let's think about this, not only from a personal level, but where do we want to see humanity going? We want to see humanity moving in kinder, responsible, beautiful, expanded ways, co-creating with life, co-creating with nature in a respectful, deep, profoundly loving relationship. One where we are eager participants, not about domination, not about control, but about observation and co-creation and thriving for everyone, including the planet and the life on her at this time. It's about time for us to step into greater responsibility for our place on the planet and our role in co-creating more life with the planet. So there's a lot here with this card, clearly, because I've been chatting for a while. But this bigger picture, this bigger dream, what do we want? What do we want? Holding it. As I said, it doesn't have to be, every step laid out clearly and fully. It's enough to have a sense of how you want to feel and the life you want to live into, the feeling of what you want to live into and what you'd like to hold for our collective family of humanity. Near future, we have the card of frustration, 7 of Pentacles. Pentacles being the earth element, the material realm, things on this concrete dimension of the 5 senses that we experience through the humanness of our bodies. So the 7 of Pentacles, so frustration. Well, I think we mustn't be discouraged by that. Once again, understanding that that which is not perfect, or that which triggers us, or that which is challenging and difficult, is clarifying for us. So when we bump up against world leaders who are doofuses, who seriously, what are they doing? It's so frustrating. Sorry, there's my word. So it's important not to get caught in that, the judgment and in the frustration that we feel when we are so clear about what is good and what is going to be beautiful, not only for ourselves, but for humanity. To leverage that frustration or that contrast to help us refine the vision even more. So I use the example of frustration with leaders who are not rising to be the caliber of human that we want to lead us. I don't know how we wind up with the leaders that we do sometimes. Well, I know we do. It's the systems. But if we want different leadership, we have to hold it. We have to clarify from the leadership that is on the ground right now, what would we prefer? The contrast that they're providing is very helpful, truly. And the dysfunction of our systems is helping us to clarify what the function could look like. What do we know now as a result of the dysfunction that we've been living with in our systems? The dysfunction of our leaders, the shortcomings of our leaders because of the systems that we exist in. Again, it's not because they're terrible people, but maybe they're not the right people to lead us at this time. They're not the ones who are holding this larger, wiser vision in their beingness. They're stuck in what was. We need visionary leadership right now. We need leadership that is deeply connected to the earth and deeply connected to where we want to go. People who hold vision. So as we move into this energy of frustration, just notice it. Notice it. Take some space. When you feel the energy of frustration rising inside of you personally, notice it. Take that deep breath. Come back to the broader, wiser part of us. All of us, we need to keep remembering to do this. And as a result of that separation and that distance and that objective perspective, we are much clearer and wiser and able to leverage this wisdom that we are gleaning from our disappointment and our frustration to channel it into how do we want to feel? What do we want the vision to look like going forward? Using it for our good and for the collective good. Okay, and the foundation card, illusion. Because ultimately, being here, this is an aspect of life. This is one lifetime, many that we've had. It's the one that we're living right now, so it's very precious and important. I don't want to underestimate that. But understanding that there is so much that could be considered to be an illusion. The field of Maya. So how do we come back to grounding? How do we come back to seeing through the illusion, to cutting through the story? We have the angel here who's overwhelmed by all these emotions and these feelings. We have to come back to what's real and true right here, right now. It's very easy to get pulled off of our center by the media and by the coverage of the horrific events that are happening in the world at this time. It's really important to come back to here and now, grounded and present, doing our best in this moment, making it a prayer for the good. Everything that we do, our showing up, our doing the dishes, our folding the laundry, our walking to work, making it all an offering for the good, doing it with all of our heart, doing it with all of our goodness, in service to something more. Coming home to peace, coming home to well-being within us. Once again, it's about staying grounded, staying peaceful, staying centered, despite the outward expressions of the discombobulation that is happening on the human plane, on the earth plane. And the human plane, it's us. We're creating it. We're making it happen. That doesn't make us bad. But it does call us to being more aware and responsible, because as we as individuals, once again, as we can hold peace and vision and well-being and love and kindness and tolerance and compassion and all of those good things, especially those of us who are in areas that are not completely torn apart and upset. If we can take ownership of that and hold a good peaceful space and stay centered, we can contribute in good ways to the world. And yes, it is going to be a little bit frustrating because it feels a little bit like, the image that keeps coming is the idea of the caboose. The caboose is the last car in the train. That's where it feels like our leaders are. They don't understand where we're going. And they keep trying to drive the train from the back. And it doesn't work very well. We need leadership from the front, the visionary leadership that's taking us in right directions. So rather than getting frustrated once again, rather than being overwhelmed by the stories coming at us and the upsets and the suffering, I mean, it's really being thrown at us from all directions. One has to ask why. Taking that step back, how does it serve for us to be clouded and confused right now? How does it serve for us to be in overwhelm emotionally by what's going on? And ultimately, it doesn't serve us. It simply clouds us and keeps us small, keeps us reactive rather than responsive. So even if it's just that piece that we are able to remember as we go forward this week, coming back to clarity, coming back to center, taking a deep breath when we notice our emotions starting to rise and overwhelm us. Come back to peace to the best of our ability. Step outside, get out into nature as much as possible. Nature is the best grounding field of energy we have access to. So, yeah, it feels like And, astrologers have been saying that this is probably the most intense month of this year. So there's a lot going on. So be patient with yourself if you're feeling it. Be kind to yourself. Take good care of yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you can't be this lofty, lovely, loving, kind, compassionate person. Just be compassionate with yourself when you're having your feelings, as we all are. And then take the deep breath, come home to yourself, and realize that you are bigger than this. You are broader than this. You are holding a loftier energy than this. And that is our best service, is to be in that place as much as possible, considering what's happening. So don't underestimate what you're going through, what we're all going through, because it is big, it is strong, it is intense, and it's pushing us. And we have to ask ourselves, is that the direction we want to go in? Because if it isn't, we need to pull ourselves back, take that breath, and reorient. Choose a wiser direction, one that is full from the heart, one that is life-giving, one that is generative, one that is calling us to more life. Pay attention to that. Is your desire calling you to more life, or is it calling you to less life or self-destruction or death? These are important distinctions to have. I was just talking about the loftiness of our desires and staying in purified desire, that higher expression of it. That's how you know when you're in that space and it's calling you to more life. But if the desire is calling you to eat the whole bucket of ice cream, or calling you to wallow around for a while, and like I'm saying, if you need rest, have rest, but just that sort of more of a self-destructive tendency, then you know it's not a purified desire. You know it's more based on the lower, more animal aspect. And ask yourself, what do you, the smaller, more human or animal aspect of you, need right now? Because when we ask, we'll get the answers, and we can take better care of ourselves. And we have to take better care of ourselves right now because of the nature of the energy at this time. To keep our energy high, we have to take care of ourselves so we can be beacons of love and light and hope and well-being on the planet. I think I said enough about that. Let's move on to our card to grow on. Okay, Creator. So knowing this, staying clean and clear of the illusions, having a vision for how we want to feel and how we want life to feel for the highest and greatest good. Knowing all this, all the information that we've received this week, what would be most helpful for us to keep before us as we journey so that we can be of highest and best service to ourselves, to each other, and to all life everywhere? What do we need to distill down from this week's reading to carry in our hearts as we move forward for our highest and greatest good, please? So, another lovely wand card, the Six of Wands, the card of victory. We will overcome. We will get through this. We are going in the right direction. Even though what we see in the media, etc., shows us that it's not the right direction. We have to understand the impact of these atrocious situations. They are waking us all up collectively. And in our hearts and minds, we're starting to say no more. Enough. This is not acceptable. I do not choose this anymore. I do not participate anymore. And calling on our leaders, calling on those who represent us to stand up and say no more. No more harm, no more damage, no more pain, no more suffering. Enough. We're bigger than this. So this card of victory is reminding us to hold ground, hold the lofty vision, hold the desire for peace, for love, for kindness, for wholeness, for thriving, for all. What we hold in our hearts, what our hearts are calling us to, is okay. Keep holding it, because it lines up with the collective field of energy and where we're going. We are going to have a happy ending. Just hold that in your heart and mind when you just think you can't take any more. And we're each cooperative components to that happy ending by being the fullest expression of the good of ourselves, the lofty aspect of ourselves, the one we're striving and reaching to become. Of course, we're human. We're going to fall down. We're not going to strive every day, and that's okay. But doing our best is what's important right now. So, don't be disheartened. Stay in the energy of possibility. Stay in the energy that we are powerful manifestors and creators when we let ourselves line up with it and hold the frequency of what we desire in our beings. That's why it's important to unplug, because it's really hard to hold our center and the frequency of what we want to create when we're being distracted by the suffering and the pain. So it's important to understand why we have to hold the frequency, because that's what we're pulling towards us. When we hold gratitude, we pull more towards us to be grateful for. When we hold love, we draw more towards us to love. When we hold peace, we draw more peace towards us. That's why our set point is so incredibly important. And this card is reminding us that that's our homework. That's our job. Be peace. Be love. Be a clearing for light. Be a clearing for goodness. Be a clearing for striving to be the best expression of your highest and best in every moment, to the best of your ability at this time, which, as we all know, kind of goes up and down. But that's why self-care is so important, because we can sustain it better when we are healthy and happy and nourished and rested and exercised and fresh aired and all of those good things, hydrated, right? So stay on target, my friends. This reminder that we will be victorious and we have work to do. And so with that, nice deep breath. Let's keep coming home to us. Keep coming home to these beautiful bodies, these amazing bodies that enable us to be here on the planet at this time as cooperative components in this incredible evolution. We chose to be here. We have to remember that. We chose to be here. We chose to do our part. We chose to take the dramatic contrast that we are witnessing and leverage it to hold more love and light and beauty on the planet at this time. And those who are going through that intense, dramatic contrast possibly chose to come and be that for us so that we could hold the light. Don't let any of it be wasted. Send love, send kindness, send healing, send good energy. Yes, very important. Sustaining life force to those going through those intense, dramatic, and difficult situations. That we can do. We can send them love. We can send them support. We can send them waves of well-being and goodness. And we can hold it for all of us so that humanity will rise in good ways. Humanity is rising. It's inevitable. That's the frequency on the planet. It's what we're being called to. It's the frequency of everything at this time. Is all about human evolution. Is all about us rising and shining and becoming more. It's all about us expanding. It's all about us saying no to the old ways of doing things, the older, lower frequency ways of doing things. It's all for us. It's all working out, and it feels crazy in some ways to say that. We have to trust on some broader, wiser, higher level. This is all working out in good ways. So let's keep it high, keep the energy beautiful, and let's close. I invite you to close your eyes. Take another nice deep breath, please. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here with all of your children, and I want to thank you once again for being with us and guiding us at this time as we travel through these amazing ups and downs and all arounds and dramatic contrasts and suffering of this time. I'm asking for help for each and every one of us. Help us to remember our light. Help us to remember our way back with our breath. Help us to remember the possibility that we each hold within us to be the frequency of love, of light, of peace, of well-being, not just for ourselves, but for all of us. So I ask for support. I ask for guidance. I ask for help in holding these frequencies of love and light so that we can bring relief however we can by adding our good energy to the collective field of humanity and the collective field of this beautiful planet so that transformation and healing can happen quickly and well, because the critical mass of humanity is moving towards more love and light, is moving towards no more of this low frequency pain and suffering. The critical mass of humanity is waking up thanks to the contrast of the extreme situations that our brothers and sisters are living through. And I ask for peace and love, and I ask for healing for those who are suffering. I ask for love and light. I ask for waking up of our leaders. I ask for heart opening for those who are in the caboose of the train, that they wake up and understand we are in a new direction. We are in a new place. We are in a new time for humanity. And this ignorance of our connection has to stop. It's time for it to go. And we need to understand we are all one. So I ask for healing, for love, for light, for transformation, for expansion, for the change that we in our hearts are all craving and calling to. May it come quickly. I am so grateful to all those who helped to hold this space. I am so grateful to be able to be here in service to life. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you for being here every week, however you can, bringing your highest and best to love and light in service to the good. We shall be victorious. Let's just stay on target. Hold that beautiful focus, the long goal of what it is that we want to create for humanity, for ourselves, for our families, for our loved ones, and for those we don't know that we love anyway because they are part of our human family. Onward and upwards, people. Let's keep going. I'll see you next Friday. Lots of love in the meantime. Take care.